Hi everybody, welcome to Woodfired Weekly at Manna from Devon Cooking School. This week we are going to be making an oven-baked risotto. We're going to be using the Alpha 4 Peats oven, and we're going to be using some of these wonderful wild porcini mushrooms. Absolutely fantastic to use in your cooking. We're going to make a quick start because I've already got a pan in the oven warming up, and in there I've got a little butter and a little bit of oil. And we're going to add some leeks, some mushrooms, a little bit of garlic, already chopped up there, and a splash of oil over the top of that. And I just want to cook these and soften them down a little bit before we put them into the rice. I've got the 4 peats running here. It's already heated up, so there's heat in the stones, and I'm keeping a little bit of fire rolling over on the left-hand side, and that I think is probably all we're going to need for this whole recipe. Let me just tell you about these porcini mushrooms that we're going to use. These are, porcinis are a wild mushroom, but these are farmed, but then they're dried out, and they've got the most intense, woody, earthy, savoury smell you can imagine, and a little bit really does go a long way. So if you chop up a few shreds of this and add it to your bolognese, add it to stocks, add it to all sorts of things, it gives you this real lovely background earthy flavour. And we've taken some here, steep them in boiling water so they plump up and soften. In this state they're kind of rather chewy. I don't think you'd want to eat one of those. But then these we're going to add to our mushroom risotto along with some fresh mushrooms. I can hear that the pan has come up to a sizzle already. And I'm sure I've mentioned before that the Alpha 4 Peats is remarkable and never ceases to amaze me in how little fuel you need and how small a fire you need to get things cooking in there really quickly. So the vegetables and mushrooms are now soft. Beautiful. We're going to keep all of those juices and add those to our risotto. That's just going to add flavour. And I've been preheating a pan here. That's just so it speeds it up and it brings everything up to a boil quicker. So into there goes that cooked mixture. The porcini mushrooms pre-soaked. Arborio rice. Salt. A good grind of black pepper. A nice splash of white wine. We've got some fresh oregano from the garden there. Just sort of ripped apart a bit and taken the stalks off. And we're going to mix that all together and add enough vegetable stock to cover the rice. And we should find that this bakes and the rice absorbs all of that. We don't have to do any stirring. There is, of course, the school of thought that you've got to laboriously stir your risotto all the time. There's all sorts of mythology that goes on about that, and that's the only way the starches are going to break down and that it all becomes nice and creamy. And there's the other school of thought that says you just put it all together and you put it in the oven and you let it bake, and that all happens. And if you think about a rice pudding, which is short grain rice, the same as arborio rice, you put that in the oven and you leave it and it all comes out lovely and creamy. So now we're going to put the lid on, pop it in. This doesn't want to be a massively hot oven. We just want this to a simmer. So I'm going to sit that in there. Those embers are dying down, but they're going to retain their heat for a while. So I may not even have to put any more wood onto the fire here. I'm going to put the door there with just a little gap at the sides there for some air to get in and keep those embers glowing. The risotto's been simmering for about 15 minutes, so we're going to have a little check. So I've still got a bed of embers there. The heat's holding up pretty well, so I may not need to make any more fire. It's simmering nicely, so we know it's cooking. I can see the rice has swollen up, but I've still got a reasonable amount of liquid in there. So I don't think I need any more liquid. I'm going to have a little taste just to see how far along the rice is already. So that's going to need another 8 or 10 minutes. And I think I'm going to stick it that amount of liquid, but I'll have another little check after 5 minutes and just make sure. Tastes delicious though. If I check the stones of the oven, 250, 200, 220, so actually there's quite a lot of heat still in those stones, which is going to keep that risotto simmering away for another 10 minutes. The risotto's had another 10 minutes, so that's about 25 minutes in total. I'm going to have another taste. Perfect. Rice is now completely cooked. So the dish is finished, or it's finished cooking. Now I'm just going to stir in some double cream, some Parmesan cheese, a few chives, and that's it done. So that's a baked risotto, all done in the Alpha 4 Peats. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel. We produce a new video every week. We'll provide recipe and notes for this video on our blog and put a link to that below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.